So I just wanted to talk about free will. I just wanted to talk about free will and strong women and stuff like that. Everybody has free will, and and a lot of women have free will, a lot of men have free will. Everybody has free will, and I guess it's what people do with it that counts and kind of makes people's lives and situations and things like that. But um, sometimes the free will of a woman really scares me, or really kind of has a mark on me, because I think at one time the free will of a woman really did leave a mark on me, because I ended up having my heart broken by this woman. It was a really fucked up situation, but I ended up having my heart broken by this woman, and I can tell that she would always say, "Oh, freedom. I have freedom, and I'm allowed to do this, this, and this." And I'm thinking to myself, like, "Yeah, you do." And it's like I wanted them to choose me, but they wouldn't choose me because I was kind of still denying the fact that they had freedom, or they had the freedom to do what they wanted to do and stuff like that. To see other people or to see who they wanted to see. Even if it meant not choosing me, and I ended up brokenhearted or etc. People have this type of freedom where they have the right to choose what's good for their lives and etc. Um, I'm gonna tell you, I'll be honest with you. There's some badass women out there that really fucking scare the fuck out of me. There's some badass women out there that really scare the fuck out of me, that are really strong and independent women, are trying to get their lives together and build businesses, or build publishing authors and all kinds of stuff. That there's a lot of people out there that are building empires and trying to make a living for themselves and a name for themselves, and really independently strong women and stuff like that. I think it's a lot of a trauma. I think it comes from a trauma response. But I think when people start, acting like adults, especially when it comes to more the adult natures of like sex and things and stuff like that. I mean, I have my moments too, but I don't dabble in it as much or as heavy as some people just tend to do, where they dabble in the things of sex, or they talk about sex, or they're more sexual in nature, or they're more sexual free compared to how I feel confined and stuff like that. But um, and I don't know if I should necessarily feel confined, because I'm free as well, and I'm free to explore and take avenues the way I want to take them. Actually, I think that's kind of why certain things on social media are no longer there, because in some cases I was trying to be sexually free, or more etc. in certain areas, and I got banned from a couple of almost got banned from a couple of sites, or I'm on my way to being banned from a couple of sites. But um point being is that strong independent women are not always the problem. It's like more freely sexual, more promiscuous sexual free strong women actually do kind of bother me in a way, because I know that they have a right not to choose me. They have a right not to pick me, not to value me, or not to really, honor who I am as a person. As a matter of fact, a lot of women don't, because well, I've been through I've been through I've had a couple different women that I've had my sights on within the last couple of years, and or more than that, because it took me over almost 5 years to close a chapter out for one person. I mean, I still have the pictures and stuff of me taking them out to dinner and stuff, but it's still, I mean, I closed the chapter of that, and at least I'm trying to, and try to put that situation behind me. But it's just these women are like sexually free, or sexually promiscuous, or more free with their actions, or how they want to live their lives, and they don't want to like settle. They want to be polymiscuous and not really settle, and be more free and more open, and etc. And I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily want to judge the lifestyle, or be against the lifestyle. I mean, especially if it's for me, I wouldn't want to be against it. But there's something about strong women that makes me realize there's times that I'm absolutely chicken shit. I'm absolutely chicken shit sometimes when it comes to strong women, or strong, independent women that do what they do, and try to, act the way they do. I'm absolutely chicken shit, and I don't know if that's coming from the way I was raised by a mother who's probably very insecure and has her own mental health issues and things like that, that she's trying to put mental restrictions on me, what I believe and how I was raised, to the point that there's a lot of other ways that people view things and stuff like that, that I am not able to fully grasp because of these limitations or limiting beliefs that were placed on me as a child and stuff like that, you know, or through traumas or through certain traumas or trauma based experiences that have happened. But I'm just thinking to myself how women are more free, they're more independently free, and women can go and do what they want to do and be more expressive about it, and etc. You know, they don't have to choose you. They have a right not to choose you. They have a right not to sleep with you, right? I mean, I always knew that was the case, but I'm trying to own up to it more, you know, especially in the fact that women are kind of very promiscuous, or can be very promiscuous and more adultish when it comes to things like sex, drinking, partying, drugs, and things like that. That women can actually have that type of life because they have the free will to choose and do so. You know, even though I might not fully, you know, openly always agree with everything, or you know, or in some cases feel, and depending on which way you look at it, can be considered a lower vibration. I mean obviously there's people doing it out there that are obviously still spiritual, and there's people out there that feel that there's a type of spirituality connected with that and stuff like that, that you don't, it's not really part of a spirituality you want to endure for your life, that, you know, as a spiritual, more higher cause or more higher intellectual cause, as a spiritual person, you don't want to be a person that's always like going out partying and drinking and doing drugs and stuff like that. But I mean, you know, there's all kinds of things about today's society that really, you know, really can scare the crap out of me. I mean, obviously, especially if you really kind of like the woman, and you know, you kind of like the woman or like who you're talking to, and I don't want to say it's necessarily control. I mean, I think it might seem as control, especially if you're coming at it from a place of fear, and you kind of want them to kind of realize how you feel, and they feel like you're controlling them, but it's more a place of fear because you kind of fear being hurt, or you kind of fear this and that, when really it's not really control. It's more like you just don't want to get hurt. You want to let them know you don't want to get hurt for their actions as a free person, a free woman, or a free individual to do what they want to do. But people have a right to do what they want to do, and people have a right to their freedoms. But then again, freedom is not always free. Freedom is not always free, and freedom comes at a price, and freedom's not always free here, especially here in America, especially when people like the soldiers and people out there dying for, you know, for our freedoms and stuff, of, you know, fighting in wars and stuff that go on overseas and etc. But you know, when strong women don't necessarily bother me. It's just some parts of the lifestyle of, like, some people might say it's even being more of an adult and stuff like that. But some parts of the lifestyle, when it comes to more of the sexual stuff and stuff like that, I mean, it's like, you know, you want to be the one that's chosen for some of that, but then you get kind of insecure, and you feel kind of weird because you know in the back of your mind the woman doesn't have to choose you, the woman doesn't have to give a fuck about you, and the woman, you know, the woman can do what the fuck she wants to do, you know, and that goes with anybody. I mean, I won't lie, that was the same thing with me and T'Challa Williams, is that I knew T'Challa Williams was a strong woman. I knew she had a very sexual, you know, and enduring nature, and you know, you know, in her spirit. In some cases, and I know she was trying to be very professional and stuff with it, but you know, I it's like me too. I mean, I you know, watch adult entertainment. I mean, I watch adult entertainment. I don't drink, I don't smoke anymore, but there's times I do watch adult entertainment. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to love yourself sometimes, and just give yourself that, you know, that stress reliever. But you know, regardless, it's like, you know, I mean, people really live a really crazy lifestyle. I mean, and it's like, you can't tell a woman what to do with their body, right? You can't tell a woman what to do with their body, or how to really, you know, give the love that they want to give to other people, or give the love that they want to give out for people to receive. So, you know, it's like you can't control a woman, you know, you really can't. I mean, but I don't know. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot too because I will say the same thing kind of happened with Natasha. Natasha and I started talking about our fantasies, and we started going down this rabbit hole. And it's like I didn't want her to just go and run and hurt me, and I had this fear that she was gonna go run, hurt me, and like fuck me over and betray me. And that's exactly what she fucking did. That's exactly what Natasha fucking did. She was open with me openly, and she trauma bonded with me a little bit, but then we were also, eventually it turned into a trauma bond of being open about how we were feeling, about, explicit things, um, but obviously there was no boundaries, no safety words, no keys to really say, oh, this is where we cut it off. This is where, you always got to have a boundaries and safety words when talking about sex and going down the sexual rabbit hole life. You got to have boundaries, safety words, and things that are not okay and that are okay when it comes to that type of adults, lifestyle. But, Natasha scared the fuck out of me too. She scares the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna sit here and say Natasha Sally didn't scare the fuck out of me. I mean, or the fact that I'm scared that she'll never get to really choose me because she's out there, with every other guy every night, because her baby's father lets her see other guys, in some type of open relationship or whatever relationship kind of Bonnie and Clyde situation they have going on where they get where she gets her rocks off, regardless, women are free to do what they want to do. I mean, they don't have to answer to a male. They don't have to answer to a guy that. They don't have to answer to a guy that really needs to grow a fucking spine too. I mean, I kind of realized too with some things in the past, I should have grown a fucking spine a little bit better, or should have manned up a little bit heavier, manned up a little bit heavier, and took more responsibility as a more of a better situation to do so. But unfortunately, like I said before, there's always that promiscuous side of people. There's always things you realize about people that they're doing things like drinking and partying and smoking, and some things you just don't feel like it totally fits your lifestyle. But then you don't want to judge them because you want to try to be open to them because you do admire them and you do like them, or you do think they're attractive, or whatever the case. You like the things about them and you want to be open to it. But at the same time, it's like you kind of have to question yourself, where is all this taking you? Is this really okay by you? Is this really not okay? Is this just the systematic norms that were placed on you by society that you were meant to feel, But I'm kind of in this mood where I'm just thinking to myself about, free women and what it really means to be free as a woman and what it really means to be free as a male, I saw a sign somewhere that said, "Who made you the boss of, well, just use your imagination." But I saw a sign somewhere. I think it was from one of the Black Lives Matter protests or Women's March protests. Like, who made you the boss of the. So, I mean, guys are not the boss of another woman's body. They're really not when it comes to another woman. So we don't have to argue about that. It sucks that some guys sit alone. I mean, some women sit alone, and some other women are out there, living it up, and knowing guys want them 24/7, and knowing they're strong women, or trying to be strong women, and trying to do very strong things, and a lot of people admire them and stuff for it. Even if they get cold feet and don't know how to always express that, and they're chicken shit. But strong women are out there. Strong promiscuous women are out there. Strong women are out there. There's all kinds of shit out there. I mean, I've seen shit. I know about shit. I mean, I know about things about all kinds of different sexual things that I don't even want to get into. But I know about just life in general, that there's a lot of stuff out there, and there's probably still a lot more out there to be experienced as life in general, not just with sex or etc. But regardless, I sometimes strong women make me feel insecure, and it's not really a controlling thing where I say, oh, I want to control you. I want to know that you're really picking, you're gonna pick me, you're gonna make me feel like I am worthy enough to be picked, or have the time and the value and the effort to be, be shown the love and respect. I mean, and that's the fucked up thing about it is some women actually have kind of shown me the time, value, and respect, and whether it was my fault or not. I mean, in some cases, it was actually more the woman's fault that I would be talking to, but in other cases, I was more the person who obviously put myself in positions to also screw up and also really kind of betray the trust and betray the power, the things that were given to me to be able to do what I, was entrusted to do and be able to, lead the way I was supposed to lead. Not only for myself, but for them, for them first and foremost. So, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, all I can really say is I really don't get turned off by strong women. I just want a woman to really choose me and value me and learn somebody who's going to really try to choose me and value me and respect me. But I realize too that there's a lot of limitations and there's been a lot of like limiting beliefs that I was raised with, especially around certain things, and some of that has to come from trauma bonds and stuff like that. Some of that has to come from trauma bonding and other issues and other different things that I've been through in life that kind of make me put up these barriers out of fear and stuff that may seem like control, but they're not always, not always meant to be control, obviously there's the whole thing about sex where there's a dom and then there's a dom, there's a switch, there's a dom, a switch, and I think something else, dom, switch, and if you want to get into that type of life and stuff like that about control and stuff like that, for those people who are part of that, I mean, I know it's out there, I know there's a lot of shit out there like that, but regardless, people have their free will. People have the freedom to do what they want to do, especially behind closed doors, and, express the things they want to express. I mean, obviously, politics, I don't want to get into politics too much, but politics, as I said before, has been questioning a lot of our rights and a lot of our rights to be able to do things and express and be able to express the things we want to express in the ways we want to do them. I mean, obviously, certain things were not illegal when it came to, certain things and stuff like that up until a certain point that they were outlawed or are starting to be outlawed because some people in the world feel differently about other people's rights and freedoms to do or express the things that they want to do. So, but anyways, women can do what they want to do. Strong women can do what they want to do. Strong women can do what they want to do. I can't sit here and tell anybody I can control anybody or make people, choose me or choose to love me or respect me or value me, because they can't, I mean, as I was saying in the Facebook post, I closed off a lot. I'm closing off a lot of situations with women and stuff like that, or trying to, or at least I can tell you also too is that there's some women I'm trying to just make peace with, to even if it closes the chapter. I'm trying to make peace with the situation a little bit, even if it closes the chapter, just try to give me and then maybe that person the benefit of the doubt. But other chapters I'm just closing because some people just don't simply have the time and stuff like that, And I wish I could have expressed this earlier to a bunch of people because there were a couple different, it was probably like 3 or 4 different women that were very more openly free when it came to their rights as far as sex and how to go about things, as what they wanted to do with their body and what they wanted to what they wanted to share and stuff like that. And it's like, well, because obviously some people were doing Facebook Lives talking about like, oh, I like this happening and I like that happening, and I was kind of just like, well, I kind of got really kind of like out of fear. I got kind of like, why do I want to hear this coming from you? And like, does this mean you're going to choose somebody else and not myself, or, not choose me? And it's like, it really turned into a really crazy situation. It turned into a really crazy situation and a really, fucked up and effed up situation. So, but women can do what they want to do. Nobody controls a woman's body. Nobody controls a woman. Women can do what they want to do, and people can choose, to do what they want to do. I mean, nobody can control a woman and make a woman do what they want to, make a woman do what, Nobody can control a guy either. I mean, there was a time I think in my life too. I did exactly, I had a chance to do exactly what some of the women I actually have been attracting were doing. You know, I was in a place where I was able to get a lot of like a strong line of relationships and stuff, and I was kind of a jerk about it though, but I was able to get relationships and be able to see, I was able to get, get, I was able to basically, get relationships and be able to, see a relationship and sleep around and stuff and have a very, very, freeing, sexual and relationship life, Although some of it was really a bunch of games and a lot of problems that I really kind of wish I didn't really do to people's hearts or etc. And that's back when I was like 20, 23 and I was young and dumb and I should have known better and I wasn't, I obviously was being kind of what some people would have called back then a fuckboy, but I would like to think I graduated. I would like to think I graduated from the fuckboy situation, from the fuckboy status, and kind of grown up to be more of a more respectable person. But then again, there's people out there with businesses and stuff too that are more can be a little bit more higher up or can see themselves in a little bit more higher light, and to them maybe you would just be considered a fuckboy. Maybe you would just be considered somebody to get your rocks off and etc. And not really give a fuck about how they feel about you. You're just there for their pleasure for about 24 hours to however long, and then you're ditched and pushed aside. Um, Regardless, women can do what they want to do. Women are free to do what they want to do. Men are free to do what they want to do too. Nobody has to choose anybody. Nobody has to choose anybody. And again, I guess unless people really speak up, and it's really agreed upon, because obviously consent is a very good, a very big thing in all this too. As is you got to consent and people got to consent, but. Unless women and guys speak up and actually tell somebody that they like them and stuff like that, and they like actually try, they actually like each other and it's actually agreed upon, and the situation's actually agreed upon, then you really can't expect things. I mean, you can be at a place. You can be at a place in a position where a woman doesn't have to give you anything. A woman can be in your life. You spend money on her, like I did Natasha. Right? I spent money on Natasha, hoping she would give me some type of love and value and respect in return. Matter of fact, Natasha almost tried to. I wouldn't let her spend her money on me. I wouldn't let Natasha spend her money on me. But because I didn't want her to. I didn't want her to. Her situation was kind of really struggling, and I didn't want her to spend a single dime on me. I wanted to be the one to treat her out in a way, which I feel very used for it, because all I really wanted in return was some of the same love and respect I hoped to get back in return that I never really ended up getting, because I ended up getting fucked over in some type of game that she wanted to play because she liked playing game. She told me openly she likes playing games with guys, so I got pretty much fucked over for it, and I got fucked over with somebody who was supposed to be one of my closest friends, and pretty much got fucked over, and I've been pretty much being fucked over by my the guy who was supposed to be my friend for the last 7 or 8 years, plus a couple other people as well. So, because people want to play games like, oh, we're getting, some people want to be like, everybody wants to play this game like, oh, I'm getting the most, sex, and I'm sleeping with this person and that person. And in some cases, it's just a low-level energy. Depending on what you view and how you view it, it's a low-level energy. I mean, I guess the people who obviously had traumas in those areas and had to heal from certain traumas, it can kind of be a low-level energy, depending on how that person views it and depending on how their trauma was dealt and how they deal with their trauma. It can very well be a low-level energy. It can very well be a low-level experience that, people might want to try to kind of avoid, depending on how people go about it. That might trigger something that makes them feel it's a kind of a low-level vibration. I mean, obviously, we have these male and female parts on the lower extremities of the human nature that people say it's the lower level energies. I mean, let's face it, the male part and the female part are made of energies. They're made of these sacred energies. They're made of these sacred beings and these sacred energies that are supposed to interlock to make another human being and stuff like that, and also give off these sensations of like pleasure and things that well, basically, are supposed to give the human experience, but you know, I don't know. Regardless, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know if I will have what to say anymore, except women are going to have the right to do what they want to do, and guys are going to have the right to do what they want to do too. I mean, if you end up alone and you end up stuck by yourself, then so be it. You can't sit here and say, oh, choose me, choose me, choose me, when nobody really is making it clear that they want to choose you, or you're really worth value, or, letting you know where you stand. I mean, obviously, sometimes I think guys are afraid to approach girls just as much as girls are afraid to approach guys that they like, because everybody's afraid of the rejection. Everybody's afraid of getting their emotionally hurt or emotionally kind of rejected, which kind of still comes from a trauma bond and a trauma situation, So, let's be real about it, though. Everybody has their free will. Everybody has their rights. Everybody's going to do what they want to do and be able to live freely and openly and do what they have to do to express and be who they are, and be, hopefully genuine about it. I mean, some people are not genuine about it. Some people are just trying to snake their way up to the top and sleep around and drink and party and, which is what you got to be careful of. I mean, some people go out for drinks and they just go out leisurely, and they don't really, they're not about like the really, crazy lifestyle. But, being an adult, I mean, it's not that I can't be an adult. I mean, I have a way of like getting really bad anxieties around certain people, especially females I like, Females I like, I get really bad anxieties around, and sometimes it's hard for me to express my emotions or express what I'm feeling, or to be able to say what I need to say to them and stuff like that. And, obviously the situation could be better, the situation could be better handled, but it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. It takes two to do what they have to do to, just to start a relationship, or to start any type of situation that would consider sex or friendship or etc. That it takes a start somewhere to say, this is where we're gonna be, this is what we could evolve into, this is and etc. But anyways, strong women are not really to be feared, although women in general could be feared. I mean, it depends maybe on the political spectrum. I mean, some people say, oh, strong women should be feared, or strong women are empowered, empower strong women, and because you got all the people into feminism and stuff out there, like, oh, strong women should be empowered, and women should rule the world, we should have a woman president and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm at this point now. It's just like, people are just going to do what they want to do, and that's just the simple end of it. You can sit here, you can have you can have any type of situationship, or once had a situationship with somebody, or etc. And they can end up leaving your life, or have end up leaving your life, and you can look back at the situation and say, well, I'm kind of sorry I didn't get to sleep with that person, or I didn't get to sleep with that person, and have that intimate connection with that person, and they have a right not to give it to you. They have a right not to give it to you for whatever the reason at the time that they did, and you're sitting here stuck kind of in your own emotions, having to go forward, But it is what it is, it is what it is, and people got to sit here and deal with it. So, anyways, just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm reheated a cup of coffee from this morning. We got the fire trucks going up Main Street, so I'm sitting here with the fire trucks going up Main Street, and I'm just sitting here kind of like loud noises. I got my windows open because it's nice and cool out, so I got to do a little bit more cleaning in the house because I got inspections next week. Next Wednesday through next Friday, I have inspections, so I got to get this place a little bit cleaner. I know the people who own the program for the housing are coming out to do what they got to do. So, so they are gonna do what they got to do. But I don't know. Anyways, just my little rant on strong women and how I'm feeling and what I've kind of realized about myself and etc. So.